Hello everyone, I'm Grumpus. Thanks for tuning in to Grumpus on Fire. Well, I got an easy one today. I picked up spiral cut pre-cooked ham. We're going to warm it up on the Lone Star grill, put a little extra smoke on it with some pear wood, and then we're going to finish it up with a Pear bourbon glaze. So stick around, I'll show you what I'm doing. We've got ourselves a 10.6 pound ham. There's nothing, it's a spiral cut. We're not going to do anything too fancy here. This thing is already cooked, so we really don't have to worry too much about the cook. We're just trying to warm it up for supper tonight. I'm going to put it in this cast iron skillet to kind of hold some of the juices and also make it easier to turn. We'll spin this thing around, through the cook, make sure we're getting even heat on it. Really, we're just wanting to get some smoke on it. It's already been smoked. We'll throw that seasoning away. We don't need that. Trying to keep one hand clean. There we go. This one does not have a little disc. Some of these I have a plastic disc on the bottom. Want to be sure you can get those out. And that's about it. So anyway, we're just going to throw it on here. I'll check it in an hour and probably give it a rotate. So we'll just pop this on the lower grate. I removed the top one so I'd have room because this is kind of tall. We're going to try to keep the temperatures around 275 to 300 just to give this thing a little bit of smoke, a quick heat, and we'll glaze it up and have it for supper here in a few hours. While we're waiting on our ham to warm up, let's go ahead and start on our glaze. I got about a cup of dark brown sugar. We're going to add a couple of cans of pear nectar, 2 cans, a little bit of cinnamon. Put it to your taste. That ought to do it. That's, Grandma would call that a couple pinches. We're going to add a little bit of ground allspice. Couple more pinches. That's a heavy pinch there. We're going to add some whole cloves. That's probably maybe half a dozen, 8 maybe. We're going to add just a splash of apple cider vinegar. It's going to be pretty sweet glaze. We just knock the edge off. I'd say that's probably about a tablespoon. You've got to have a good Texas bourbon. We'll also give that a splash. That's probably a couple of tablespoons. And then to finish it off, we're going to do some fresh ground nutmeg. That's probably a fourth of a nutmeg nut. And we're just going to stir this all together. Let all these spices steep together. I'm going to leave this pan here over the firebox. Let this hopefully come up to a boil. Let it thicken up just a little bit. I don't want it too thick, but I'd like to get it thick enough to where it doesn't run too deep into those pre-cuts on the ham. So that's it. Alright, I just tasted that. Tastes pretty good. Needs a little more bourbon. It has been an hour. Well, we may be running a little hot here. only been an hour, and see what I'm talking about, these slices separating? I don't want a lot of that. A little bit of it's okay, but I'm hoping if it opens too much, it's going to absorb too much seasoning, and I don't want that. So we're just going to spin this around. Let the heat hit the other side. I'm going to close the vent down and see if I can't drag this temperature down around 225. So we'll check this back in 30 minutes. Alright, I shut that vent down. That's only open about 1/8 now. About 15 minutes ago, it looks like we're going to settle in about 225, 230. And we'll let that ride for about another 45 minutes and check it again. Well, let's see how our sauce is doing. Yeah, she's still pretty thin. Give it a stir, nothing seems to be sticking. Alright, we'll let that keep doing its thing. It's been a little over 2 hours. Let's see how we're looking. Ah, that's looking good. I think that's it. Yep, that's as far as I want to take it. Let's get our sauce ready. Get it put on. Well, let's see how our sauce is reduced down. Yeah, that's there. Not too watery, but thin enough it should slide all the way down the outside of that ham. I'm going to call the sauce done. I'm going to call the ham done. We're just going to drip that down over. Yeah, look at that. And we use that cast iron skillet. That's going to keep all the mess to a minimum. I think that's pretty good thinking there, Grumpus. Get this other side. Boy, isn't that pretty. Look at that. This is our brown sugar, pear juice, pear nectar. Alright, so we're going to let that just set. And then we're going to pull it off, let it rest. And we'll come back and pull this 15 minutes. Well, we've let our glaze set for 15 minutes. Boy, look at that. That looks pretty. Look at that. Alright, we're just going to pull this off. I'm just going to let it sit right here. I've got some foil. See if I can get that without burning myself. And we're just going to wrap that up real loose. And we'll just let it sit here. We have rested 30 minutes. Let's check this out. Looky there. All right. You know what? It's time. Sneak a piece before we have to take that in the house. Well, let's try a piece of this before we take it inside. I don't know if you can see that or not. Nice and moist. Nice glaze ring on it. The camera's not doing very well. Alright. I gotta tell you, that's a pretty tasty ham. Total cook time was about 2 hours. We glazed it and let that set for about 15 minutes, and then we let the ham rest for 30 minutes. So it's a pretty easy cook. Everything's cooked when we put it on the pit, so all we had to do is warm it through. It's got just enough smoke on it to really get your attention. The pear, that's front and center. I really like that. All the spices we put in there married up with it really nice, with just a hint of the bourbon taste to the back end. So I think the family's really going to like this one. So if this is something you've liked today, hit the like button for me. If you hadn't subscribed yet, why not? We'd sure appreciate it if you want to do that. So from my house to yours, let me just say Happy New Year. Thank you for tuning in to Grumpus on Fire. I'm Grumpus. We'll see you next time.